Hi, I'm George Mariner Mole, Artistic Director of the Discovery Orchestra, and welcome to Notes from Under the Piano, stories from my life as a musician, conductor, and teacher. It all began when, as a child, I liked to recline under our grand piano as my mother practiced, and the rest, as they say. Lead sponsors for Notes from Under the Piano are Judy Musicant and Hugh Clark, and the Kozlowski Family Foundation. Major sponsors are David and Ellen Williams. Today's episode, a day in the life of a pair of violists. The title of this episode makes it sound like this will be an extended joke. Actually, it is a funny and real story. I began my musical career as a violist. I was very fortunate and lucky to begin playing in a professional symphony orchestra before I graduated from music school. Just before I started my junior year at the University of Louisville, there was an opening in the viola section of the Louisville Orchestra. I auditioned and received the position. It was while playing in the Louisville Orchestra that this humorous tale occurred. I have often wondered if audience members are aware of the mini dramas that may be unfolding on stage at any given moment during a performance. One concert evening, after the first selection that featured the entire string section was played, a second musical selection that required just a handful of string players was performed before intermission. As is often the case, those music stands and chairs not needed are removed from the stage by the stagehands. My stand partner and I were among those whose chairs and stands were removed. After intermission, with our stand and chairs once again in place, back on stage, we began to play the final piece on the program, a technically demanding composition by the German composer Richard Strauss. Things got off to a fine start. However, my recollection of the next moments is quite vivid. What my stand partner and I did not know was that during intermission, our music folder had been knocked off the stand and onto the floor. The stagehand put our music back into our folder as best he could, but you can imagine how my stand partner and I felt as we were playing when we turned the third page to find the music upside down. As I turned the music right side up, my stand partner continued to pretend to play. This is a technique carefully honed by orchestral string players in which the left-hand fingers continue to move, as does the bow in the right hand. However, the bow hovers above the string, making no sound. This skill can be specifically applied as needed to avoid playing wrong notes, all while appearing to play. Although it can't be maintained for a long time without detection, it works especially well for brief stretches of time when there are plenty of people around you playing the correct notes. The only problem in this particular instance was that in a fraction of a second, we both knew that although the music was now readable, it was the wrong page of music. This caused me to put down my viola and bow again and lurch up to the music, lifting up, sorting, rearranging the pages as quickly as possible until they were in the correct order. My stand partner, a very nice gentleman and a fine violist, continued to pretend to play through all of this frenetic activity. Finally, with the pages sorted in the correct order, we both resumed actually playing. But to this day, I occasionally wonder what our adventure may have appeared like to someone in the audience, someone who just happened to be looking in our direction when this bizarre little episode began to unfold. Did anyone laugh or at least chuckle when I turned the music right side up? Or when I began to rearrange the pages of music, did they think, wow, his stand partner must have this entire thing memorized? Oh, not really, but I guess you could at least call our antics an authentic viola joke.